Does anyone still have their Crunchyroll subscriptions? If you still have it, what are you doing, bro? There's some news happening from Sugoi Light. And you know what? Let's just go in with the assumption that this is real. Because I don't know if this is real or not. I haven't done my due diligence. I've simply been given a link and we're going to read over it because there's some massive changes happening with Israel? Maybe anime is inherently political, guys. Maybe Elliot Historian is right. So first up, scoop, a big change is happening at Crunchyroll. We'll tell you more when we get additional informations, or you'll see them officially announce it first. Depends. It's a real shame. So we got a leak going on. But we got a Crunchyroll X Israel happening. And basically, update 1, right? What is update 1? Sugoi is a reputable leaker? All right. So update 1, this has to do with like subtitles and translations happening, right? Let's look at this. So majority of subtitling staff at work for Crunchyroll used AG sub, an OSS, but recently been several changes. So this is like the technology. You don't have to be aware of like what this actually means, but basically there's this set of technology they were using to translate anime on Crunchyroll. But recently been several changes. Everyone's now forced to abandon it, switch to cloud-based software called Una. It's a complete Israeli software and many staff are very upset about the decision. And you know what? I would be upset about it too because it's like, damn, we've been using this thing the entire time and everything is great. Not really. We know that Crunchyroll subs are fucking ass. There's so many times where they absolutely get things wrong, or there's like wrong subs from a different anime placed onto an entirely different anime, and we're like, what's going on? Then we have to wait for hours for them to revise and release another upload, and they're like, oops, my bad, right? Constantly there's stuff like, you know, complete mistranslations. And then there's also like change in translation done by localizers who have their own like political ideology and wants to like censor the root like core content that the author wanted to represent. That happened with like 2.5D Ririsa, the anime, and some of the other stuff that's more grounded in fan service. So I think that setting aside the politics stuff, absolutely it is annoying when you have to like change your entire workflow and learn a new technology, because that's just annoying, right? Think about at your day job, right? Whatever you do, you're so used to it. And now the boss is like, hey, we gotta change everything. Good luck. Great. But then there's a layer beyond that annoyance, right? And I think it's the obvious one. When you hear Israel, what do you guys think first? Be careful in chat, okay? I don't want no anti-Semitic stuff happening. But you think Palestine, right? When you hear Israel, you think Palestine. You think Jewish people. Why? Because of the fucking insanity that's been happening in real life. And it's kind of tied in, and it's still happening. And you see all this crazy ass political bullshit happen, and you're like, oh my god. And a lot of people have anti-Palestinian, you know, intents, and a lot of people have anti-Israel intents. And I think a lot of people, when they see that like this new technology is taking over Crunchyroll's like anime subs, they're immediately going to jump to like, I knew it. The Jews do control everything, which is a conspiracy that I don't agree with. Let's just get that out of the way. But for sure, I think a lot of people will hear this and think, I can't believe Jewish people would ruin anime. I think it's something that a lot of people may jump to, specifically a lot of the actual anti-Semites. So Una here, this is from Tel Aviv, you know, it's in Israel. We develop professional management and production tools to service the localization industry. Blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of bullshit. 11 to 50 people, founded in 2012. This is a funny little cat emote, but they are the ones going to do anime subtitles. And basically that also means Crunchyroll has, watch this. Crunchyroll has clearly not abandoned the idea of using AI for translation at all. I mean, isn't it kind of pretty much like confirmed that they have been using AI for translations? I don't know if we ever actually got definitive proof, but hasn't there been many like hiccups and them making oopsies that like shows that, bro, you guys literally didn't even like proofread this. You didn't even check it. Like, this is fucking AI doing it. Was there not that bullshit happening? I feel like there was some drama a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago actually about that, but maybe I'm wrong about that. What's more, Crunchyroll still continues to pay the staff, including subtitling department, very late. Not necessarily. Una is an industry standard used by Netflix and Disney Plus vendors amongst many others to streamline the production and version control. It can be limiting when working with the client, I couldn't import the translations, but look at that. And you know what? Boom, right over here. Who knows how accurate Mr. Atoman PL is? But let's just take his word for value. If this is true that Netflix and Disney Plus and other vendors are using this software already in the industry to streamline their workflow, I don't think there's honestly that big of an issue, right? Because like if it was that big of an issue, then I think a lot of people would already been like, cancel Netflix, cancel Disney Plus. I know they say that shit, but they don't do it on the grounds of, oh my God, this technology is from Israel, right? I think a lot of people will jump to their guns hearing Crunchyroll making changes because of the negative press surrounding Crunchyroll. Then they'll tie in the negative sentiments about Israel to the political bullshit happening and say anime is ruined. That's it. Support fan subs now, guys. Screw official subs. Not like they're good anyways. Little fun little hint, by the way. Fan subs by the biggest groups, they're actually not really fan subs. It's a direct rip off of Netflix or Crunchyroll. So I want you to understand that, like, listen, I know that actual, like, hardcore, like, for example, Monogatari that we're watching right now, right? There's a lot of different groups that do it, and you know, God bless their souls. But I think a lot of, like, early release, immediate, like, that day of anime that comes off of whatever pirating software that you use, this is not, like, a brand new person doing the subtitles. This is them ripping word for word off of the source that exists on Crunchyroll or others and just placing it there. So like, you know what I mean? you are watching Crunchyroll subs by default if you choose these big, you know, fan sub groups that you think are actually doing real fan sub work. So just be aware of that, okay? Just be aware of that. We need AI for translations ASAP. I don't know about that, but I think there is a lot of good ways that we can use AI as it gets better and better. Let's read some of the other responses. I don't care. So Mr. Throat Goat. Throat Goat Gintoki from Gintama says, I don't care about Israel at all, but the main issue is about the limited content library. Wrong substance will not pleasing convenient UI. I have a Crunchyroll family subscription, and they're basically complaining about Crunchyroll stuff. Yeah. So basically, stop using Crunchyroll. Stop it, bro. What else is there? Fuck Crunchyroll. All my homies hate Crunchyroll. We got some mob psycho memes coming in. Just cancel. Back to pirate I go. Do we know how long it lasted and trial period? Blah, blah, blah. It's just more people saying pirate this, pirate that. Oh, this is an interesting tweet. What does this one say? Now otaku groypers can calm down. Based Miwa profile picture. I don't know about anything else. Israel is not going to ruin anime. However, the use of AI to translate anime is still bad. I think it's bad right now. But I think the better AI technology gets, I do think that using it to translate anime can be good. I mean, there's already a bunch of like different machine translated, you know, subs that like MTL subs, right? On like different pirate sites that we've checked out. I think Nokotan was that, right? I think that, what's it called? What else was there? Fragrant Flowers also had a bit of that. And I personally didn't find much wrong with it, if any. I think that some of the wordplay and cultural context and just nature of Japanese language, right? Some of that will definitely be lost in translation. But like, I think that most of the AI subs that we've seen so far are actually legit. I know that when Lord of the Mysteries, you know, early released like all their final episodes, and you know there were actual good fan subs. There was also a lot of AI translations, right? And those were really bad. But I think that in the future, like AI subs are going to get better and better, and it's actually not a bad alternative to consider. What the fuck is a groiper? This is not a political video, so don't worry about that. That's an entirely separate video that we could make on it, but it's just the terminology that you can Google to figure out for yourself. Israel should take control of anime. Now, this is just weak rage bait. Always a Jew with a Ukrainian flag. Okay, yeah, this is it's my problem for even click onto. Yeah, I shouldn't have clicked onto this profile. Now it's just a bunch of crazy ass political schizos on the thread. So that's kind of it. The TLDR right now is don't jump to anything. But there are changes happening. And if the leaks are correct based on this Sugoi guy who seems to have a good reputation, it's that Crunchyroll will now be using new technology that's based from Israel. What we need to understand is this guy. If this is true that Netflix and Disney vendors have been actually still using it to streamline their production and there's no problems that you've found through their vendors, then there should be no fucking reasons to be upset about Crunchyroll using this. For sure, you can say El Crunchyroll and so on, but I don't think Israel are ruining anime. I think this is just a coincidence of, oh, a translation service that happens to be based in Israel is also something that Crunchyroll is going to be used. And if other competitors are also using it too, then this is a fucking nothing burger. But you never know. You never know. And I'm sure, yes, I'm sure a lot of, racists in the replies will, condemn Israel. Basically, it's like this all the time with like the other drama too, right? Basically, you'll find something that is like irrefutable proof that like, oh my God, the IDF and what they're doing to these poor kids in Palestine. Oh my God. And you can talk about Hamas and Israel. I think killing is just bad, just period, right? I think no one should die due to the acts of shitty ass governments. But I think that a lot of people will come in here and condemn this and tie it into the horrific acts of what Israel government has been doing. But at the end of the day, it's literally not that deep. Since, again, if this is true, that Netflix and other vendors are using it, literally, there's nothing to fucking complain about.